Episode 9, Silent Power.
Boom.
All right.
Boom.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're having a lovely week. And good to see you again.
Yeah, we're back in the park.
Yeah, beautiful spot. Wow, the sun is out. Leaves are falling on us.
It's already fall.
Yeah. Summer went by just so quickly.
Just like that. That's it. In 1 week.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like that for California because of the weather, man. Like 1 week it's raining all week, and another it's like boiling lava.
Yep.
And here we are. It's right
so what do we have today, Mike?
We've got a couple of topics. It seems like a couple of bangers too. Some really important stuff. So one of those things is just the psychological effects and physical, obviously, of trying to work out when you're heavier versus lighter, and how you can manipulate that, to work both of those strengths. Because I think emotional strength is really important for fitness. Oddly enough.
Cool. Awesome.
Yes. Anything you want to add on that?
I know we're gonna bring a point about the relationship between physical experience and emotions. Right? Yeah. And we're gonna cover also some morning routines to go more in depth.
Absolutely.
And also, we're gonna talk about things like small tasks that can have actually a tremendous effect on your life.
Good.
Impact your life in a proper way.
Amazing. So great. So yes, what I was going to talk about with the emotional side of training and working out, my recent purchase was a weighted vest, and I love this weighted vest. It's 35 pounds. It's got a zipper in the front, and it doesn't have steel bricks. It has silicone bricks that are kind of heavy.
Oh wow!
So it's adjustable. You can make it whatever weight you want. And
are the weights silicone?
Yeah, they're all they're silicone. They're like hard silicone. They're like some special material, and they're heavy.
It doesn't get rusty.
It doesn't get rusty. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't like press up against you. It's nice and it's still very soft and pliable, which is cool. So it's really a cool vest, and it's kind of slim too. It's like I don't know how they do it.
It's close to your body, right?
Yes, yeah, and it's one size fits all. You can adjust it, which is great. So it was cool. It was a great experience putting it on and working out with it. Because as I was going through it, I put the vest on. Obviously, everything I did was much harder. Pull-ups was like, oh, wow, that's hard. Push-ups even were kind of tough. Squats. And the running was especially hard. So
you ran with a 35
I ran with a 35-pound vest. I made it to 2 miles. And then I walked after that. I was pretty toasted. Yeah. I was just, I had no plan in my head. I said, let's just see how this goes.
Try it out.
I was thinking maybe I could do 4 or 5 miles, kind of thinking crazy. But 2 miles wiped me out.
Too much.
Yeah. It was really crazy. So obviously everything was much tougher. And for the running, I was definitely moving pretty slow. I was not running at my 5K pace. But it was very interesting also because it put me in a very strange emotional place as far as like how hard everything was before I, lost the weight that I did. It brought me back to exactly that number from before I started working out with you. Or, whenever was my heaviest point. It was like beginning of last year, end of the year before, which was really close to 190 for me, it's 5'9". So, yeah, I know, I was, man, I was heavy, so it put me back to that. And I remembered, even just trying to run, remembering how hard that was and hating it. And then pull-ups, being mad at myself for only being able to do 1 or 2. There are so many things where but I was realizing hey, this is just, me with the vest. But I was really starting to go back into that. Why is everything so hard? Why is it like before? And it was scary for that. But it's another way that a piece of equipment can train you. It trains your mind. It's like a reminder, hey, keep taking care of yourself. Because the weighted vest is almost like those photos looking back at your worst self.
Right.
Yeah. So it was crazy like that.
So it's intense because it brought you back to how much weight you were weighing,
Yeah,
and you having the sensation on how it was before.
exactly. That's
Wow.
exactly right. My breathing was heavy all the
never thought of
same,
that.
and yeah, so it was really strange on that side of things, and I had to keep reminding myself, no,
Yeah.
you're a lot more fit.
Yeah.
You're not like back then.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
Yeah.
So, but I recommend everyone,
I mean, weighted
challenge themselves.
vests are great for actually building muscle,
Oh yeah,
because your body thinks you're like weighing so much, your muscles work way more.
yes.
Even like by just walking,
Yeah,
and you can carry like a weighted vest, like maybe like for 2 hours, just walking at work or whatever you do.
right.
It's actually very, very powerful.
It's powerful because yeah, walking is harder, and your legs have to work harder. All your muscles and all the ligaments between your bones are like tired,
Yeah.
and also you have to keep your core you have to keep yourself upright.
Yeah.
It's easy to just want to like dip over,
Yeah.
lean over some
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
You have to stay tall
Mm-hmm.
and everything, and so it does activate a lot of your small muscles all around your torso, your body.
Yes.
So it's it's definitely hard, but I do wanna wear it more often. I want to wear it to work, and it's slim enough. You could put a coat over it, you could put a jacket over it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not so much in the summertime, but wear a big sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, Mike, you look all padded up today. Well, don't ask, but I'm 35 pounds heavier right now.
35
Don't worry,
pounds
it's just
of
the
silicone
best.
right now.
That's right.
All right, that's amazing, dude.
So that was really cool, and definitely it feels. Anything that feels difficult like that is the right thing to do, because it challenges you more.
Mm-hmm.
So it challenges me physically, mentally, and I got to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing. I recommend weighted vests to everyone.
It's like when I ran or do like uphill runs with a sandbag.
Oh yeah, like a rucksack.
Yeah, and these are extremely challenging. Emotionally, it takes so much. Like for the first 15 to 20 minutes, they're so hard, man.
Oh yeah.
Emotionally, you're like, I can't do that. It's like, why am I doing this?
Right. This is crazy.
It's very very hard on your nervous system.
Yes.
At some point, something happens where your body evens out, like between the work you're doing and how you feel.
Right.
It kind of brings everything, I don't know how to explain that, but to kind of line up everything.
Yeah.
In a way, it was like now you're good. You warmed up.
Yeah, you have to get past a certain hurdle though mentally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Your body gets really used to it.
Yeah, it's definitely an anxiety. It's like, oh, this is challenging. This is really tough. And I feel like that's a muscle that we have to work out.
Yeah.
It's the anti-anxiety muscle.
For real. A few times a week. Yeah, that leads me to like our morning routine that we really try to have implements hard things to do.
Yes.
Maybe not every single day, but at least 4 to 5 times a week to get to do something that's very challenging that we don't want to do.
Right.
And include that in the morning routine where you get up, you do your thing, relax.
Right.
And at some point, before you start to actually, do your work as a responsible person in this society, you gotta do something that's very challenging for you.
Yes.
Whether that doesn't matter what it is, if it's like 30 air squats in a row.
Yeah.
You gotta do it,
Right.
Do it anyway. But if there's something more challenging than that, it takes more time. Find a way to do it as well.
Exactly. You gotta. It's always great when you kind of put a big number, like I'm going to do like 200 push-ups this morning.
Yeah.
And, it's not just only to do 200 push-ups, it's to calm your mind down over such a daunting task.
Like agreeing to be okay with it.
Yeah, you got to agree to be uncomfortable for a little bit. Yeah. It's a small part of the day. You'll get done with it pretty quickly. It's going to take, we break it up a few times. It'll take 20 minutes, 30 minutes if you want. Yeah. But you're going to do it.
Yeah.
And you have to agree to be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Take the time to do it is very hard sometimes.
Absolutely.
To actually be like, okay, somehow your mind wants to jump into the next thing,
Yes.
or you feel like oh, I need to do that kind of work. I need to prepare for a meeting or whatever.
Sure.
You know, you kind of freak out and focus on so much on that future thing.
Oh, my phone got a ding, you know, a text.
Yeah,
I gotta
exactly.
respond
You
to
want to check it out, and so, but
Yeah.
putting the time to actually do that hard work thing first.
Yeah.
It's the relationship with the time is very hard to handle sometimes.
Yeah.
If like I don't have time to do it, that would be one big excuse we always have, right?
Right.
I don't have 10 minutes, you know, to do like non-stop push-ups.
So I'm gonna skip it completely.
Yeah, so like, oh no, I don't have time. It's fine. You know,
Yeah.
I go next to. Maybe we think this is more important. Like that meeting thing is more important than doing something hard I don't want to do.
Right. Exactly.
And actually, I think it's the reverse. It's like that thing we don't want to do.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing of the day.
100%. At the end of the day, all we have is us.
Yeah.
So take care of that.
Yeah.
Take care of number one. This is something my grandma used to always say. Take care of number one. Who's number one? You're number one. So simple, so profound, but it's like, yeah, you know, do your work.
Yeah.
You know, and then do the other stuff. You know, so yeah, and then don't let. You know, I mean, you know, we have like meetings and other important things that we definitely have to do. But we can't let it occupy our mind to such a degree that we lose our own tasks.
So,
you know,
because in a way we identify too much with that job we are doing.
Yes.
And that's no good. We think this is our entire life. You know, we think this is the priority, and it takes too much space in our mind in the end.
That's right.
And we need to be focused on ourselves and really feel how we feel within by doing something hard. And this is that self-love, you know, pretty much. When you push yourself a little bit, you know, at that time when you do something hard.
If you have that self-love and you've done your stuff, you will do better on everything else as well. That overflows into all other facets, you know. So you want to take care of yourself first, obviously. That's with everything.
Always.
That's with physical stuff, fitness, and health, and it's, you know, with finances as well. And those are two such big topics that I feel it's such a weird thing with. I think specifically like high school age kids, and I'll tell you, this is leading up to a really great conversation I had with one of my students yesterday. I think there's never too early a time for a young kid to learn how to take care of themselves on a health level and how to take care of themselves financially. It's never too early to learn about money.
I agree so much with that.
Yeah. It's always been a funny thing to me, you know, you know, workouts and all that stuff is such an adult thing. You know, you have to be a certain age to go to the gym. And sure, you know, maybe, you know, don't have an 8-year-old bench pressing 200 pounds, don't go extreme. But I think young kids should, you know, learn about workouts and stuff, and at least the body weight stuff. Man, anyone can do that at any time.
From a very young age.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, so
it builds your bone structure.
Yes, exactly. Like teenagers and stuff, and even younger, should be able to do, you know, a lot of crunches and push-ups and you know, even
I think like body weight work.
Yeah, it's squats.
Just squats. Learn how to move your body.
Yeah.
Mobility. And because
run.
Kids have a lot of mobility, but you gotta take care of it, maintain it.
Yes, you have to maintain it.
Like do a bit about gymnastics work.
Right, exactly. Man, gymnasts are so strong. It's the most amazing thing. Anything with the rings, oh my goodness, that takes some unbelievable strength. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that should be heavily, you know, prioritized, because health is wealth, man. And you know, the other thing is, as well, is, you know, kids should learn about money as well. And it's I think a lot of things are very backwards with, you know, what's prioritized for kids in high school. You know, relationships and stuff, which is fine if you know, have boyfriends, girlfriends, all of that. You know, that's cute and that's great and that's fine. And some people stay with their high school lovers for their whole entire lifetime, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think there's such a heavy social focus on that, and there's a huge focus on, you know, college plans immediately after school.
Right.
And you know, it's great to like want to go, you know, continue schooling and go to college and get the degrees and stuff, because that will help with many different lines of work. If you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, you need degrees.
Yeah.
But schools are expensive, and if you don't take care of your health, that's expensive. You know,
it's actually more expensive.
It's more expensive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So learn about money.
Yes.
You know, that's my understanding of it, is that's
100%.
important.
Yeah. And so that's the conversation you had with one of your students.
Yes.
Right?
So leading back to that, she came in. We were going to do a lesson, but we just ended up talking the whole time because it was a pretty important topic.
She's kind of a lesson too.
She's a
no, I'm saying,
it is. It was
like
huge.
mentoring.
It was
sometimes more important than
exactly.
practicing.
I love that kind of lesson too. It was, you know, because this is, you know, her future.
Yes.
So she's like in the middle of high school. She's not yet going to graduate. She's about to start 11th grade. And she was asking me about, you know, conservatories, you know, Musicians Institute and I mentioned also Cal Arts and, you know, Berkeley, if you want to go to the East Coast. And, you know, those are obviously wonderful schools. For something directly out of high school, though, you're still very young.
Yeah.
And while they are at, you know, the absolute best when it comes to networking opportunities, and I would say that's really what you're paying for.
Yes.
It is so expensive. It's almost a lifetime of paying back loans, you know, being in debt.
Yes.
You know, it is that expensive.
And how crazy is that you don't even work yet, but you're in debt already.
Right. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you haven't really worked a job yet, but we're talking about college. Easily one of the hugest investments of your entire life.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, is totally crazy.
It's completely backwards.
Yeah. And so she's, you know, speaking to all different people, you know, trying to figure out her path, essentially. And right away, I asked her this. You know, what do you think your gift is? Because if you can, thank you. If you can identify your gift, your gift will make room for you,
dude.
It'll absolutely, you know, take care of it. Don't worry about the how-to so much.
Yeah.
If you're religious, God's got that handled. If you're not religious, the universe has that handled.
Yes, she's God.
Yeah. There you go. Amen. Yes. So that part is not your worry. Just think about, you know, what are your dreams telling you? What's your dreams telling you where you need to be?
Yeah.
What's your gift? The thing, in other words, what's the thing that takes almost no effort? You know, that
the least resistance.
The least resistance that can get you paid and get you busy, very active and recognized. You know, the thing that feeds yourself, your soul, your wallet, and helps other people out. That is your gift.
Ultimately, your wallet.
Yeah, exactly.
It just comes with it as it's just the byproduct of it.
Exactly. And, you know, her situation, you know, her desires are similar to mine. She wants to play as a musician, be on big stages, and she likes people. So she said her gift was people, interacting with people, which I love that, you know. So I told her, look, figure out the money part and teach people, teach kids lessons, and gradually wean yourself off the freebie gigs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I mean, as an adult, when you're at a certain point, definitely don't do any freebie gigs as a musician. But there were certainly a couple of bands that I played in that built myself up, my musicianship up, built my character up. put me in that calm mindset for when things go south on a song,
Yes.
or if people get lost and stuff, you know. So
Keep the
playing
smile
as
on.
much as possible, and keep smiling. So I think, you know, I wouldn't tell a young person cut off the freebies straight away. You know, play a lot. If that's what you want to do, play.
Yeah.
You know, do the music bit, and you know, open yourself up to the other financial streams, teaching, recording sessions.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
And then save up enough to do whatever the heck you want.
It's so interesting because we kind of miss the major part of what it is to be a musician.
Yeah.
If you take it as a career, I remember my dad telling me, "Don't go that way."
Right, and a lot of the same thing for this girl.
Yeah,
a lot of people say that's
like,
not stable.
It's not stable. You play at night, so you got late nights.
Yeah.
Most weekend you got to go somewhere, play, blah blah blah,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very hard to build a family around that too.
Yeah.
And which is all of this is true in a way.
Yeah.
Unless you put in the equation the business factor of it.
That's exactly right.
Where you have to build your own brand. If you work around that, if you develop your skills, so you work your skills as a musician, and if you got to develop your skills then as how to market yourself.
Yeah, you have to build your brand.
Yourself, build your brand.
Yeah.
How business works, how to manage your budget when it comes, money in, money out.
Yes.
And all of that's an actual job.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And this is how you actually make money and a living as a musician.
Right.
And nobody really talks about this, even still then now.
Yeah.
Nobody
amongst other musicians, nobody really talks about it much.
All that still focus on like, you gotta be like that skilled,
right?
And then go out and play. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And what about the market? What about the business aspect of it?
Sure.
Basically?
I think it's easier maybe a little bit for the creators, the songwriters and stuff, because they are building that brand. When they're writing their own lyrics and they're putting their face on something, that is marketing.
Well, it's more like strictly related to a structure of the music industry.
Yeah.
Because you need to you actually need to use that structure from the music industry.
Right.
Which is for musicians, you can just go play and be paid.
Yeah.
So there's no structure.
Right.
It's you don't have to understand that to actually be paid to play a gig or a recording.
Right. Exactly.
Right? But you need to understand that though. You need to learn about the structure anyway.
Right.
And then most of the time it's too late. When you go through maybe years of doing this way, it's hard to change and that.
100%.
So for my experience, that was very tricky because I always was focusing on recording, playing shows, and give a few drum lessons, right?
Right.
But I had to really force myself to understand the business aspect of the musical world.
100%.
And this is where the game just changed, for me.
Right. You got to brand yourself, man. You're much more than just a cog in the machine.
Yeah.
And yes, you're absolutely right. A lot of really, really great, exceptionally talented musicians fall victim to what's the next gig? They're, waiting for their next gig check without any plan, without any investment, financially. There's a lot of things that are deeply missing.
Yeah.
And a lot of really great musicians I knew during the pandemic suffered quite a lot because no one's gigging. So you got to figure out that brand side of it. You got to learn money.
And more than the brand, the brand is one aspect of it. The other aspect to develop is the mindset.
Right.
You really got to work on your mindset.
Yep.
Be who are you, as a person.
Yeah.
And for me, when that pandemic happened, the first day it shut down, I went to my studio, picked up all my stuff because I thought I wasn't able to get out of my house completely,
Right.
And the following day, I went live on YouTube right away.
Brilliant.
I was like,
here we are.
And to me, I wasn't, and by doing this, I wasn't scared of anything.
Sure.
I was
Yeah.
like, this is fine. We just go through that wet time, you know.
Yeah.
And I've been through like pretty hardships, you know.
Sure. Well,
So
the
like,
pandemic is
I'm good.
gnarly. Yeah.
So and
That's
when-
so great,
at
though.
the other time, yeah. But at the other time, like most of my friends were freaking out.
Yeah.
We can't play shows. Me, my head was like, oh, it's fine. We go live on YouTube. It's cool.
Yeah.
Let's all set up a session. We play our live on YouTube in one room. You know, it's like 3 or 4 of us,
Right.
and we just play, and that's it. And people maybe watch it or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's people like, no, I'd rather do nothing. You know.
Oh, I know.
And,
Yeah. I mean, it's hard with band context because it was a really, really dark time, and
Yeah.
a lot of people were just so
Yeah.
like literally too sad to
Yeah.
like just meet up and
I
play.
know, yeah.
And a lot of people were also very scared to be around anyone
Yeah.
at all.
Yes,
Like in the same
yes.
room, it was like scary.
Yeah.
It was a really scary time when we knew least about it and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, I mean that was great that you went live and you kept it going because you still had the energy from when things were normal. You just carried it with you a bit as much as you could.
It gave me a new energy
Yeah,
right away. It was like, okay, got to do it.
game's changed.
Well, I cannot give drum lessons anymore.
Right,
What do?
exactly.
That's the only way. That's the only path I had to do it. Go live
Right,
and do your videos for like free.
exactly.
Online.
Just play.
And
Yeah,
a few people would show up. It was nothing.
yeah,
But it really forced myself to adapt right away. You don't think.
right.
Just take actions.
Yeah, exactly.
Inspired actions. Just do it.
I think we're tapping on something for you.
Ooh, let's
So
go.
what would you say? I mean, there could be many. It's hard maybe to pick one, but what would you say is your gift? Is one of them. I think one thing you just mentioned, I mean, you're a great musician, but also being able to not stay optimistic, but that's a very, very simplistic way, but like keep this energy going when everything else
Yeah.
is getting dark. I think that's definitely a gift,
Yeah.
and you were able to make it work during the times when everything and everyone else is saying, okay, this is a terrible time, everything sucks.
Yeah.
Hey, we still got music. Let's go live. Let's play.
Dude.
That's a gift.
And that's one reason why I keep working out.
Yeah.
I think it's stay in this gratitude
Yes.
state.
Yeah.
It's everything, man. Even like recently, I've been through like a few challenges where I was like, yeah, let's go.
Right.
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm like, okay. I'm trying to force things to happen. It doesn't work. And these things I'm not gonna share here, but it's very like personal struggle that I have.
Sure.
And I'm like, good.
Yeah.
You know what?
Bring it on.
I don't need anything. I'm good.
Yeah.
Keep going my way.
Exactly. Exactly.
And to a point where where death doesn't seem to be. It's not scary anymore.
Right. Right. It's like, hey, man.
I'm good.
Just take it. We gotta carry. It's a weird way to say it, but we
Yeah.
gotta carry that with us. It's
Yeah.
like, look, that's gonna happen. Who here can say that being dead is better than being alive? It's like maybe the spirit world is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's why.
Just keep rocking, man.
Just keep rocking. And that's why it's very important to detach yourself from that program.
Yes, exactly. It's
But-
very easy to get swept up and scared, and it seems like a lot of things are times are getting gradually darker. Finances are always scary,
But to
and
me,
health is always.
It's an adventure, man.
It's an adventure, man, and it's fun to be like the outlier.
This is what's called life.
Yeah,
You cannot be happy sitting
what
on the
if
couch
factor.
with the best Netflix show,
no,
watching stupid stuff, and then drinking and eating like super. Like,
just garbage.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
it's not. That's a prison.
it
don't-
truly is. That is
because
not freedom.
It takes your ability to experience life away.
Yeah, I think exactly. It's ironic. A little bit of discipline is all the freedom.
Yeah.
And I feel so out of touch when people say, "Oh, what shows are you watching these days?" It's like,
I know.
brother, sister.
I haven't watched a show in like to me, it's one thing I do when I have a girlfriend.
Sure, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You
that's
want to
right.
chill with your girl.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna put this on. I just leave it on in the background and stuff, and I'll cook some food. And you know, I can't sit down and focus on a screen. Real quick, how do you stay optimistic? You mentioned gratitude.
Yeah.
So you stay grateful.
Mm-hmm.
You probably wake up each morning, and that's another thing I want to talk about is the routines and stuff that you do. But gratitude must be part of your morning routine, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, it's the one thing you want to do first.
As soon as you open your eyes up.
Yeah, as soon as you get up and become, conscious about.
Yeah.
Because every day, every day is different, and then most days are kind of like a little stressful.
Yeah.
The number one thing is like that helps a lot. I think it's gonna help a lot of people too.
Yeah.
It's to find something in the future that you're excited about.
Yes, absolutely.
It's so powerful. I remember once it was something like very simple, but when I bought my my second car here, which was a RAV4.
Right.
And dude, one morning I remember like I woke up and I had a picture of myself with my car in my head.
Yeah.
And that gave me so hyped. It was like, this is amazing. I'm gonna buy a car and then let's do it.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning to buy a car, right? But I got so excited about this.
Sure. Yeah.
It put me such in a good mood. So I think we got to find something every day. It can be like something little, just anything, like just like my walk in the park after lunch, something like so simple.
Right.
But be excited about these little things. I think this is how you can bring gratitude in the very first minutes of your day.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And it could be, looking forward to a big milestone. I mean, getting a new car is definitely a big milestone. That's a huge achievement right there. And anything like that is great. And it could be even small things like I like my little cup of miso ramen every day, and I look so forward to it. It's such a simple little pleasure for me.
Yeah.
Just that salty miso taste is so good. So build your life to have small things where you're really looking forward to it every day. No matter how small or silly it sounds to other people. But yeah, that will definitely make the gratitude happen. And then the bigger things too. And I know that we've talked about in the past not counting your days if you're on a streak of a good habit. Like not drinking or exercise. Exercising. Or any kind of goal you have for yourself. But keeping in mind what dates are the milestones, the 1 year mark, the 6 month mark.
I agree with that.
That gives me a big.
Don't have to count every single day, but remember that day of like, this is 100 days right now.
Exactly, and that's so good. That's such a great
feeling. And you can celebrate that. Yes. Be like, okay, now I'm gonna. Right, I haven't. Maybe I had like fast food for like 100-day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm going to celebrate that with a very, very good
with
dinner.
A big juicy Carl's Jr. No.
Maybe why not?
You could.
Actually, why not? It's a celebration.
Yeah.
You can do things like that. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's actually something that whether works for you.
Right. Exactly.
To keep the momentum afterwards.
Yeah. Sure.
But that's all these little things are like very small steps you can take. Yeah. One day at a time, and that can actually be life changing. Mm-hmm. When you focus on these very little things.
Oh yeah.
One thing I would say for me, it would be not eat after 6 p.m.
Right, that's a good one.
So have dinner kind of very early. Yeah. And especially don't try to get a snack. Yeah. Like an hour before bed, stuff like that. Sometimes that would be my habit. Right. And I try to like kill that thing. Yeah. But little things like that can have a huge impact.
Right. So I have fallen into this trap a little bit because just like you've mentioned a while ago, I do definitely feel better if I don't eat too late. I go to bed and my body's just like fasted. I just feel so great.
Especially carbs.
Yes.
Carbs right before bed
that's a big bad.
Yeah.
What do you do if you are hungry? It's 10 p.m. You know,
don't eat.
Drink water.
Drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water.
Yeah. What you can do is same thing. For the morning. At night, if you drink water and lemon juice.
Yeah. Okay. You can do that before bed.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. All right. That's good.
You can add a bit of a salt in it.
Right. Oh, very smart.
Yeah.
Would you do electrolytes or just salt and lemon is better?
Electrolytes, you can do it if it's not full of sugar.
Okay.
So if it's sugar-free and not too much of some chemicals, sometimes they use in it.
Yeah.
I know in the pretty well-known one, I think it's Element.
Element is the big one where it's natural.
Great for it's good for if you're fasting.
Yes.
Although there has some things in there, it's not that great.
Right. It's a lot of sodium too. It's like 1,000 milligrams for that packet.
But some electrolytes are way better than Elements.
Sure. I think I have Ultima. Is the one that I have from Whole Foods.
Okay. Yeah.
Seems pretty good.
It seems like one is very simple.
Yes, that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
So, okay, good. Yeah, so definitely water, and then a little bit of the lemon, and so basically it's like you're kind of creating the fast.
You really want to replenish with minerals.
Right.
Minerals and vitamins.
Yeah.
If you put that in your body before bed, and you're like almost fasting at that point.
Yeah.
Your body will be able to really recover from the work you did during the day, and your brain, can really regenerate itself. All cells, really work together to get back to recovering.
If you're still digesting food, there's a lot of work that the body's doing to try and make that happen, and then you're gonna try and fall asleep while that's all happening. That's
especially
hard.
Very early sleep before midnight.
Yes.
That's the most important one.
Right.
And then it goes through the two phases where it's recovering the body first, and it recovers the brain or the mind, I would say.
Later.
The mental part of it, yeah.
Right. Oh, so, interesting.
Yeah, that's why sometimes in the middle of the night, around like maybe 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah.
You will wake up.
Right.
And you feel a little stressed.
Yeah.
Because the work on your mental has been starting.
Right,
so
right.
It's transitioning from your body into your mind.
Yeah, body's pretty taken care of, but your mind is still, you need to rest for that.
Yeah, so
and when you feel tired, it's your mind.
The body.
Right. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So first your body is being resting and recovering.
Right.
So because that's the most important thing for surviving.
Yes, that makes sense. It's a survival mechanism. So the body recovers first, and then so that makes sense. If you wake up in the middle of the night, your head feels all groggy and everything.
Yeah.
So, wow. But so I'm gonna definitely try and do that. I'm on the same mission as you. I'm gonna stop ideally before 6. Or at least before 8.
Easy, right? Because
it's not
of the schedule.
I had dinner with 2 friends after work last night. We were there until I got home at like almost 10.
Yeah.
So.
I skip that now. I don't even go out like after something to do something at night.
Sure, exactly. It's it's hard. I mean, it's hard.
You gotta plan ahead. That's the thing.
Exactly.
But that little thing is just game changer, and
right.
a huge reward from that. Doing this, because you wake up so well the next morning.
Right.
And if you feel better, it's easier to feel grateful.
Yeah.
If you feel grateful, you're gonna do the hard things.
Exactly.
And then that leads you to be taking better decisions throughout the day.
It's a positive domino effect. But
exactly.
I think that's pretty profound right there. So it all starts from a well-rested, healthy mind and body, and that comes from not eating too late at night.
Yeah.
And
your day start the day before.
Yeah, that's
the night before.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Always. And then you start your morning with gratitude first, and just like you said, it helps you push towards any getting your workout in early, which is definitely one of the hardest things of the day, and then getting through all the other stuff, your meetings, your work, all of that, and then after that cycle starts up again.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah, bro.
So that's the magic right there. That's really cool.
Nice. Yeah, we can wrap this up with a a quote from Gene Rohn. I don't know if you know him or
Jim Rohn. I love Jim Rohn. Oh, he was the man.
And that thing he says like work on yourself more than you work at your job.
I love it.
It's so that says everything.
Oh yeah.
That's the most important thing, is to work on yourself.
Right. Yeah, because your work is your income, but yourself, that's your fortune.
Yeah. You are fortune.
You are fortune. You're your own fortune.
Yeah.
You know.
Woo,
exactly.
let's go.
Love that. Very good. Thank you, Jim, for that banger.
Yes.
And also, so leave this in the comments. What do you think your gift is? And what are you going to make room for? Because if you're confused and you're not sure what, where life is going to take you, that's what's going to help right there. Think 100%. About what comes to you easy that helps other people. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.
See you guys. Peace out.